That was, when you talk about the stock market, the market's always looking for excitement. And with Jobs, that helped their stock without him doing anything because of the anticipation of new products. And now that he's gone, can Tim Cook do the same thing? I don't know how much Jobs did, but I know that, man, he had the chops, and the market loved them. So I know. I better stop talking about him. Maybe get the stock back up again.
Or buy an iPhone.
No, I'm not going to do that. I do that, I just lose it. Okay.
Governor, somebody's going to announce later today that they want your job. I guess I could ask the political question, but I'm guessing you probably don't want to respond specifically. But what would you tell the people of Ohio today about what you're doing on the job and why you want to keep it?
Well, look, I mean, first of all, there's going to be plenty of time for politics, so, I don't have a lot of time for it today. It's all a matter of how people feel. They feel their economic future is better, and it's up to them. I think right now they feel that way. We'll just have to see. Got to keep going, though, because if they don't think they're going to get their money's worth, they'll look in another direction. But elections are all really about how, involving an incumbent, how's the incumbent doing? And we'll get to that in plenty of time.
Have you met Ed Fitzgerald? Do you know him?
Not really. I've met him, but I don't really know him.
So the Republicans in the Senate...
I'm pretty pleased with what I heard today. Now, I don't have the details of this. From what I understand, is they want a bigger tax cut. I mean, I know they do because we've been meeting with them. And then, the key is how do you get it? And so we're working on that. On education, frankly, I don't know how much, you guys keep writing these stories about how much different the House and the Senate, House is from us and all that. I don't think the differences are all that, momentous. It's not, but there are differences, and the Senate has been very positive about our plan, and we'll work it out. And we knew that our plan, just like any plan, it has to be tweaked. You have to change it. And so I'm pleased with where that is. Keith Faber likes our approach. We'll see. I mean, this is the most important thing for me here is we're going to put the money in, and we got to direct it to students, and it's got to be in the classroom, and it's got to be based on the concept that if you don't have a lot, you get more help. I think that is carried through, and we'll see what the Senate does. On the higher education stuff, we don't talk about that because that's going to happen, and that's not controversial, but that'll happen, and that'll be good for the state. And we had this other little thing called the Turnpike, which is part of our overall budget. So I think we're doing pretty well. And on Medicaid, you all know how strongly I feel about this, and I'm going to keep pushing for it. I think there's some good signs. I mean, the fact that they would do it in a separate bill, that doesn't, I don't care how they do it, just do it. That's all I want to see done. And, we'll see. We'll see. But I want to get this done. The other thing I think, and I know you know this because you've been around a long time, things don't happen in a day. Big things like this Medicaid just doesn't happen in a day. I'd like to see it done immediately. I'd like to see it by June 30th. But, I'm just going to keep at it because I think it's the right thing for our state.
Are you convinced, though, that they're not just spinning that off so that they can defer it and make it go away?
Well, I have no reason to question Keith. Keith has been a good guy. I think the world of Keith. We've worked together well for a long time. And I don't have any reason to think that Keith's not being direct and honest in what he wants to do. Look, there are a lot of questions there. There's a lot of yelling out there. I don't think by a lot of people, but there's yelling out there, and they've got concerns. And we still talk to the administration, CMS, and hopefully we can come up with something that they can see to vote for.
That's one of the things. I mean, they're saying they want you to negotiate with the federal government and get some flexibility.
Well, first of all, they talk about this Arkansas plan, which I think is just passed now. It was the Ohio plan. It's just that Arkansas adopted it. And there's some other things that we talked to CMS about. And look, I got to tell you that John McCarthy and Greg Moody, they are the greatest guys, and they're always on it. And I have talked to the administration as well, and there may be some other things we can do. But I think look, if I'd have told you that they were going to allow us overall to buy into the exchange, you would have said, well, I don't know if you can get that done. I mean, we still need waivers for it, but that's going to happen, and that's very creative. One legislator told me, well, if you get that done, it's going to be like so much easier. Well, we got that done, but it's still hard. I'm just going to stay on it, and I'm going to be persistent and pleasant, and I'm not going to go out there and kind of question. I mean, look, what good would it be for me to try to question people's motives? I mean, it doesn't get us anywhere. We want the kids, the addicted, the mentally ill to get the help. And what do I think? I guess I just remain positive about the fact that sooner or later we'll get this.
So
we'll see.
Governor, on Friday you've got a big election coming up for a state party chairman. Before you signed on to the letters to support Matt, were you aware of his tax liens?
No, I really wasn't, but he's cleaning that up, and he's cleaning it up, so that's fine.
Were you aware of his activities back under Joe Dieters that led to his pay-to-play activities?
Let me just say this. You know, he was involved in helping on our inauguration, and people wanted to trash him, okay? And I didn't like that, because I think everybody deserves a second chance, period.
Kevin DeWine,
and I
too?
think he's a good man. I think he's a good man.
Governor, we're all concerned about beer. Have you met with Anheuser?
No, I'm going to have a meeting with them, but look, this thing passed the House and the Senate unanimously. I got to get Medicaid through. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it passed, you know, what is it, 33-0, and I mean, it just, you know, so I'll meet with them and hear what they have to say, and I think they met with the leaders, but I'm not going to just veto something that has basically unanimous support across the board. I don't see why I would do that. And, you know, this actually takes me back many years ago to, I don't know if you were around, but when they were doing this divorcement with the companies and who owns the gas stations. Were you there at that time? It was in line with Mike Schwarzwalder at the time. Man, it is a controversial situation. But look, the House and the Senate has looked at it. I don't see any reason why I would not approve it. Okay?
Last week, jobs numbers came out, and they were down 20,000. And I understand that it's one of the
Yeah, I mean, look,
surveys
the fact is that you don't, these things always jump around. And, you know, one minute you're up 20, the next minute you're down 20, but we're clearly in the right direction. And, you know, we're heading there, and we got to keep going. That's why I feel so strongly about the tax cut. You know, we're making significant progress on the job training front. Jobs Ohio is, you know, they're out there doing the best. We have some announcements coming up on jobs. It's a stop and start economy right now. There doesn't seem to be consistency. But, you know, I always look at those numbers. I don't look so much at the unemployment number, because I don't know what those mean from the standpoint of, you know, who's not applying and all that other stuff. I look at the total jobs created, and, you know, I think at this point we're 115,000 plus, and we just have to keep pushing. And I won't be surprised if these numbers just keep getting revised, but you have to be in the right direction. I have to tell you that one of the things that I have observed, it's one of our great challenges. Once they come to Ohio, they don't want to leave. But around the country, people don't know about all the things that we have in Ohio. We have somewhat of a branding problem. Now, once they come, they never want to go. They want to leave. They want to stay here. I mean, think about AEP, for example. You know, you couldn't pry those people back to New York with a crowbar. But our regional people, our regional development partners, Jobs Ohio, we've got to figure out how we can communicate a message about Ohio that is not out there right now. It's a challenge for us. It's difficult, Joe. I mean, but, you know, if you live out in San Jose, or you live in the Silicon Valley, you have an apartment that costs you some unbelievable amount of money, and your closet is your bedroom, and you can come to Ohio for, you know, a third of the cost and get a good job working at IBM data analytics. We have to get you here first. And I'm aware of one company. I met with them over in Davos. You don't even know about this one. They are thinking about a big chunk of jobs in Ohio. They want to come out and spend a weekend to see what it's like. So, you know, we got to get people to understand what we have here. And if we do that, we're going to get more to move here. I'm confident of that.
Going back to the budget for just a second. Have you considered working with the Democrats to get some of these votes rather than
Oh,
just...
yeah, well, I mean, look, I would, I would be delighted if they passed the House with strong Democrat votes. I mean, I think, but, it's up to the leader to decide how he wants to get that done. I mean, if he doesn't want to call a vote, he's in charge of the House. But I'm totally in favor. I want as many Democrat votes on everything that I can get. I feel like a pretty nice relationship with a chunk of them over there in the House. And, Capri Cafaro's been a friend of mine for a long time. I mean, Taveras and I just talked. I talked to her a week ago, tried to tell her a little bit about why tax cuts matter. We talked about Medicaid. But under the procedures, you got somebody that runs the House, and, my view is, I mean, I don't know what his view, my view would be probably that he wants to make sure he has a big chunk of his caucus and just doesn't pass it with one party. So, that's where I think he is. But I'm for whatever it takes to get us there. And I don't look at all this stuff from a partisan point of view or a lens. I'd like every vote I can get on all this stuff. And I'm willing to talk to them about the kind of things that they want. I mean, you think about our income tax cut. I don't just want to lower the rates at the top. I want to take people off the rolls at the bottom. I mean, I want to fashion this as good as you can. Now, budgets and all that are hard to get. It's a party kind of philosophy and platform. But with Medicaid, we have to all move together, and I don't think it's all over yet. That's not the sign I'm getting. Are you getting that sign? I think there's a way to go, but I'm not going to give it up. Okay? Thank you all.